Hello, first graders. Welcome to your very first phonics lesson. Today our phonics is going to be a little bit different than all the other days because today we're actually only going to be practicing drawing shapes in order to get us ready to make our letters the correct way. So tomorrow we'll start on some sounds, but today we're going to just be drawing shapes. So the first thing you need is some sort of lined paper. I'm going to use this spiral notebook because I know that a lot of you bought those on the supply list. So if you want to use the spiral notebook, you can with me. However, it might be even easier if you are someone that has the lined paper with the dotted lines in it. You can use anything you want as long as it has lines on it. You will definitely need a pencil to erase with. I'm going to use a pen, but that's only because I want you to be able to see it on the camera, but you should be using a pencil. So please pause the video and go get those supplies now. Okay, so if you're still listening, I assume you have your paper and your pencil ready to go. So go ahead and put your pencil down. The first thing that we are actually going to be practicing is clock letters. So I have a clock here. And this is a paper clock. It has no hands. Those are the lines that move around the clock. Because we're just going to be talking about the numbers on the clock. When we start clock letters, those are our round letters. They're round like a clock. That's why we call them clock letters. Every single one of those letters starts at 2 o'clock. So I want you to take your finger and on your table, just like me, you're going to put it down at what you think might be about 2 o'clock on your table. Every single one of those letters starts at 2 o'clock. You go around the clock and back up to 2 o'clock. So let's practice that. Around the clock and back up to 2 o'clock. Now, if you're someone that doesn't have a clock, let's do it like that. Start up at the top, not at the very, very top, in the middle, kind of off to the side. You're going to go up to the top line, around to the bottom line, and back up to the 2 o'clock. Let's try that again. Up to the top line, around to the bottom line, back up to 2 o'clock. So let's practice that on our paper. That's called a clock letter. Now, if you have double lines like this, you might want to have mom and dad make a line here and then a line here, and then this will be my dotted line in the middle. So an A is a lowercase letter and it stays underneath this dotted line. So we don't start at the dotted line, we start a little bit down. That's 2 o'clock. You go up to the dotted line, around, up to 2 o'clock. That would be like an O or an A. Those are clock letters. Let's try that again. So we don't start right at the dotted line, you start a little bit below the dotted line. Up to the dotted line, around, back up to the dotted line, and pick up your pencil. Notice my O, or my circle, is not hanging down. So here's an example of something you would not want to do. Do you have any idea what's wrong with this one? Why doesn't that one look like this one? Oh, I know. It is above this dotted line. So I'm just going to cross that one out. Let's try again. Starting at 2 o'clock, around the clock, back up to 2 o'clock. That's a good one. And you can even see where I started and stopped over here. So what I'm going to be looking for you is to make sure that you're not starting at the bottom. I have a lot of friends that like to start at the bottom here and go around like this, and I can tell that you ended right there. That's not good. We don't ever start at the bottom for letters. We always start at the top. So let's do another one. Starting at 2 o'clock, around the clock, back up to 2 o'clock. Please practice these. We're going to do another row. So I'm going to draw my lines here. And like I said, you might have mom and dad make lines for you so that you know where to go on this paper. Those are a little bit wavy. That's okay. Starting at 2 o'clock, around the clock, back up to 2. 2 o'clock, around the clock, back up to 2. 2 o'clock, around the clock, back up to 2. You want these clock letters to be nice and fat. Like you could take a clock and put it inside. Here's an example of something you don't want. Do you see how skinny that one is? We don't want that. That one's too skinny. They need to be nice and fat. Making sure you are starting at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Around the clock, nice and fat. Those are our clock letters. Make sure that you've done 2 full rows. You will be taking a picture of this and uploading it to this page. So if you want credit for your phonics today, make sure you have 2 full rows of circles, clock letters. If you're not done with that, pause the video and then you can continue on with us in a little bit. So if you are done with 2 full rows, have mom and dad make you another 2 full rows. You could have mom and dad use the ruler that's in your science bag in order to make these rows if you would like, or these lines. So now we're going to start with some straight shapes now that we've done our clock letters. So sometimes you might start right at this dotted line and pull straight down. This one's easy. Start at the dotted line, pull straight down. What we're not going to do is start at the bottom and go up. We never ever start at the bottom and go up. Always start at the middle, pull down, middle, pull down, middle, pull down. So I want you to go all the way across, making sure it's not too tall. Look at that one. Uh-oh. That one's too tall. Middle, pull down. Uh-oh. What's wrong with that one? Can you tell? It's too long. That's not what we're doing. We can't have any letters hanging down and any letters that are too tall. I put my pencil down right at this line and I pull down until I get to that bottom line and then I pull up. So do 1 whole row of those short, straight lines. If you're still working on that 1 row, go ahead and pause the video. Okay. If you are still with me, I assume you have 2 full rows of circles and 1 full row of straight lines. So now we're going to start. Can have mom and dad draw you more lines? It's the same thing as these, but they're tall. So this one starts at the top line and pulls straight down. Top line, pull down. Top line, pull down. And so you just need to make sure that you don't start too high. Oh, that one's too tall. And you want to make sure you don't go too low. Uh-oh, that one's too low. Top line, pull down. So you really want to touch that top line, touch that bottom line. Touch the top line, touch the bottom line. So go all the way across 1 line. And if you still need more time, go ahead and push pause. And if you are good to go, then you may continue on with me. Okay. So, we're going to stop there for today. So just making sure that your clock letters are nice and round, your short letters are straight and touching that middle point, that middle line, and down to the bottom, and your tall letters touch that top line down to the bottom. Thanks for joining me for phonics today. See you later.